Hey soulmates, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be making a button down shirt kimono dress with a ton of sleeve. You can also add pocket if you wish to. And please like, share and subscribe to the channel if you're new. So here is my fabric. I used 3 years of crepe material. Okay, so here I folded my fabric into two. To fold your fabric is from your center neck bone down to where you want your sleeve to be. So in my case, I'm working with 17 inches. I added 1 inch for sewing allowance. So from here, I'm going to use this paper to illustrate how I folded this. So the length I'm working with is by 60, which is the full length of this crepe material. Okay, from here to here is the width, which is 3 yards. From here to here is by 60. Okay, that's the length. So what I did was to cut out 17 times 2, that's 34, plus extra 5 inches for my buttonhole. Okay, 5 inches. So I folded what I cut it out into 2, and then I fold 2.5 inches like this for my buttonhole. And then when you measure from here to here is 18 inches like this. When you measure to this point is 18 inches, and this my buttonhole is 2.5 inches. And then for the back, you just cut out 1 inch, which is 18 plus 18, that is 36 inches. Okay, and you fold into 2. That is how I cut out the back. When you measure, you see it's 18 inches. Okay, unfold. When you open it up, it's 36. But for the front, you add extra 5 inches to that for your buttonhole and button stand. Hope this is clear. Please, if you don't understand, ask me on the comments and I'll explain better, okay? So here I folded my 2.5 inches for my buttonhole, and that is the one on top. So all your measurements will start from there like this, okay? So here I'm going to be doing my shoulder slant of 1.5 inches. Shoulder slant of 1.5 inches, and the neck width I'll be working with is 3 inches. The neck depth I'm working with for the front, I'm using 3 inches also. Depend on the neck of your client, please, so always measure the neck. So here I'm going to also mark the back neck width, neck depth. I'll be using 1 inch for the back neck depth. Okay, we're using 1 inch for the back neck depth, and I'm going to connect them together like this. Okay, and I'm also going to mark the shoulder slant, connect it like this towards the neckline. Okay, sorry guys, these chokes, they are not really tracking. They are not showing very well. Okay, so now I'm going to mark the sleeve opening is a round sleeve divided by 2 plus 2 inches. 1 inch for each for ease, 1 inch for sewing allowance. Okay, so your round sleeve divided by 2 plus 2 inches. That is what I marked there. And from that point, I'm going to mark her waistline, which is 18 inches, like this, 18 inches. From the waistline, I'm going to mark 9 inches for her hip line, 9 inches. Okay, 9 inches for her hip line from the waistline. Okay, so now I'm going to take her hip, divide by 4, the hip divide by 4 plus 2 inches, depend on the allowance you want. If you want it very free, you can add 1.5 for ease, 1 inch for sewing allowance. If you want it a bit fitted, you add 2 inches, 1 inch for ease, 1 inch for sewing allowance. Okay, so I use 2 inches. So here I'm marking her waist, which is 41 divided by 4 plus 2 inches for sewing allowance, 1 inch for ease, 1 inch for sewing allowance. So here I'm going to mark her bust, divide by 4. Where I marked the sleeve opening is going to be her bust, divided by 4 plus 2 inches for sewing allowance, like this. So now I'm going to connect all these points together this way. Connect to the hip. Okay, And then next, from this hand opening, you come down by 2 inches like so, and then you go in towards this angle by 1 inch like this, so that you can curve your armhole. Okay, just curve it towards the sleeve opening. Sorry guys, this chalks I don't know, trying to use different chalks, but it's not really working. It's not working. Okay, just do the way I showed you. Just come down by 2 inches. From that angle shape, you go in by 1 inch so that you can curve your armhole easily. Okay, so whatever I marked on the hip line here, I'm going to mark it on the hemline. So you just measure whatever you mark there and use the same measurement on the hemline. Okay, so you just connect that straight down to the hemline. Okay, we are done cutting. We are done marking out our lines. So now I'm going to cut this out. Okay, so the this sleeve opening, I'm supposed to take out 1 inch. Whatever I mark on the shoulder, I mark 18. Taking out 1 inch is going to be 17. So that is how I'm going to do that. And then you connect it up to your shoulder line, shoulder slant line like this. Okay, and then you continue cutting. If you use 18 inches on your shoulder line, you take out 1 inch and mark 17. Okay, so that your sleeve will balance properly on your body. Okay, so here I'm done cutting the side, and I'm going to go ahead and cut the back neckline first of all. So I'm cutting the back neckline, and I'm going to add a little bit of allowance to the shoulder line. Sorry guys, I'm blocking it. What I did was I added ½ inch to the shoulder. Okay, I added ½ inch to the shoulder. So the length I am working with is the same length, is 58, plus the length plus folding allowance of 2 inches, that's 60. In case, so here I'm cutting out the front neckline, okay? But in case your client's length is longer than 60, that means you will not use the length of the print. You have to fold the other way around. That means you'll be needing like 4 yards of fabric for this style. You'll be needing like 4 yards of fabric for this style. But because my client length is 50 something plus 2 inches, so it's just 60 inches length. So that's why I use the full length of the print. Okay, I hope this is clear. So now I'm going to open up this buttonhole. Here I've done that. Button allowance that I added. I've opened it up, and I'm going to show you how to fold this. So I'll fold ½ inch first like this, and then fold 1 inch. Fold ½ inch first. So remember to chalk or notch the 2.5 inches so that you will not fold more than what you added. So fold ½ inch and then 1 inch, and then you sew down. You do the same to the other side also. So here I've done that. I folded ½ inch and then 1 inch, and this is what I have. You iron it properly. And I also joined the two shoulders together, the front to the back, the other side of the front to the back, as you can see on the video. Okay, so now I'm going to measure the neckline, the round neckline. Whatever you get, that is what you're going to use to cut your collar. So in this case, I got about 22. So I'll be using this paper for illustration, but this video was actually the one I made on the other tutorial, so the measurement is not the same. So whatever measurement you have, divide that into two, fold your paper into two. If you're working with 20 inches for your neckline, so you fold your paper into two and you'll be marking 10 inch. So here I'm marking 9 inch, which is 18 inches, and then you go up by 1.25, 1.25, 1.25, and then you connect that together. I said I'm working with 18 inches, and then when I fold my fabric into two, that means you're going to be marking 9. Okay, so you work with your measurement. So here I'm going to go in by 1 inch from this tip, and then I will curve out my collar. And that's all for this collar. I'll just cut it out. So I'll just use this to cut out as a template to cut out the other collar, which is 22 inches length. So I'll just add extra to it. So I'm just using this as an illustration because I made all this the same day. I don't want to go cut another collar. Okay, I'm that lazy. So here, as you can see, the facing is longer than the collar. I added the extra that I needed for this, but please guys, use your measurement. Okay, so here you add ½ inch around your fabric, ½ inch sewing allowance around your collar, the paper you cut out, but this facing is going to be exactly the same measurement as your collar. So you're going to place the collar stay on it and you iron it out, arrange it properly, make sure it has ½ inch around it, iron it, and then you go and sew. So here I'm going to be attaching the turn off sleeve, so depend on how wide you want yours. So here I measured out the sleeve allowance is 19, and to that I add extra 3 inches, so I'm working with 22 inches here. So here the width is 5 inches. Okay, the length 22, the width is 5. So you fold into two, and then you place this on it, the sleeve on it like this, and you sew down. Okay, so if you want your turn off sleeve to be bigger than this 5 inches, because after sewing with ½ inch you will have only 2 inches left. Okay, so after sewing I top stitch on the sleeve, not on the turn up allowance, on the sleeve itself. So I'm going to fold this way like this, iron and top stitch on it, then I'll sew on it to hold it together like this. Okay, you sew it together. You do the same thing to this other side. Okay, so if you want yours to be bolder than mine, you can cut 7, you can cut 6, you can cut 10, 5, depend on your how big you want your turn off to be. So here I've done that, I've sewn it, and here is my collar. I have attached the collar stay, although I use hair stay, not collar stay rather. But if you have collar stay, work with it. So you fold in ½ inch, iron in ½ inch on the side that has collar like this. Then you keep it this way and sew the curved part with your ½ inch allowance. Sew the curved part like this, and then you trim out the excess and turn it inside out this way. And you fold into two and notch the midpoint. Okay, you notch the middle of your collar. You also notch the middle of your dress neckline. So here is the dress. I'm going to fold it into two also to notch the midpoint of the dress neckline. Okay, so here I'm going to place the part that has no hairstay on it, right side of it facing the wrong side of the dress neckline. I'll sew from that notch part down to this end, from there also to the other end. Okay, right side facing the wrong side of the dress. So here I'm done attaching it to the dress. Next we are going to sew the other one. Okay, so you flip it over this way and then you top stitch on the neckline. That's on the right side of the dress. Now you top stitch it to this end. Okay, and after that you are going to shape your dress. Okay, so to shape your dress, you fold into right sides facing each other like this, and from this our waistline here, you're going to mark 7 inches in case you want to use pocket. In case you want to attach pocket, you mark 7 inches and mark, okay, like this. So from this shoulder line, you take note of the length of the facing, the length of the half length. So here is 17 inches. So you're going to sew 1 inch, stop here, this 17 inches, and you continue here also. Continue from this 7 inches we marked out, and sew down to where your slit is going to start. So for my slit, I went up by 18 inches. So this is where mine is going to stop. I went up by 18 inches from the hem. Okay, so you do the same to the other side also. So here on the other side, I'm going to measure out the 17 inches from this shoulder line here. Okay, I'm mark 17 inches here, and from that 17 inches I'll take out 7 inches for my pocket. Okay, here I'll also mark 7 inches. So you start sewing from this hand opening, also stop here, then you come to this part also and continue down to where your slit is going to start from. So here guys, I've added my buttonhole to this. Okay, so here the gap is 2.5 inches. Okay, the gap I used is 2.5 inches. Sorry guys, I lost the clip where I was showing you guys how I measured it. So when I realized that, I had to redo it. So here is to 2.5. As you can see, that's the gap of the buttonhole, and I've also attached my button. As you can see, also I've attached the buttons, and I shaped my dress. Fold the hemline. No, first of all, you're going to sew the slit opening first before you fold the hemline. Okay, so here is the slit that I added. I've folded it. You go and serge it. As you can see, I serge it, and then I fold in the allowance we use, which is 1 inch, and I sew. Okay, and then I folded the hemline, as you can see. And another thing I did was to attach the pocket, which I also lost that clip, but I'm going to show you guys how I did that. So here is the pocket. Just get a pieces of fabric, put your hand inside, and then in short, I'm going to show you guys with another pieces, but you just sew it round. After cutting your pocket, you sew it round, and then you attach it to the space you left behind. Okay, you attach it this way. Okay, so here I just dropped the camera, and I want to show you guys with my 2 hands. It's like I'm not getting it well. So you place it this way and sew down. You sew also the other side down. Okay, you've attached your pocket. So remember, we come down by 17 inches, which is the waistline. We left the space for the pocket, okay, which is 7 inches. As you can see. Okay, so the pocket width is also going to be 7 inches, and then we sew down to our slit opening. Okay, so I will show you how I cut the pocket using these pieces. So this is what I did. You get a pieces of fabric. You'll be cutting 4 of this, so you just measure out your 7 inches. This is 7. Okay, you place your hand inside and cut how wide you want your pocket to be. Okay, you cut out how wide you want your pocket to be. Just put your hand inside like this and just curve it if you want to. Okay, and then when you cut, you sew and attach the way I showed you guys. You'll be sewing it two, like I said, you're cutting 4. And that is all for this tutorial, guys. Please like and share this video. Thank you for watching. If you have any question, just ask me on the comments, and I will try my best to explain better. I love you guys, and I'll be seeing you in my next tutorial. Bye.